Hey everybody, Wendy Clicky with Blue Cat Studio. Welcome to day 15 of the Advent Ornament Challenge. We're going to do this cute, funny flamingo. So I'm going to show you how to sketch it first before we go too far. So let me just put a thing of tape here, kind of, let's see. And sorry, yeah. So I got a couple of cameras in here zoomed in super close in hopes that it makes it a little easier. So I'm going to draw this big first and foremost. Just show you how to do it, and then we'll do it on the actual ornament. So we'll begin here, and we will do so if this is my top, kind of an oval, like right there. And we'll maybe put over here on either side of it some little dots. Okay, and then from here, we're going to kind of, from this section, we're going to make like a swoopy S. Not an S, kind of a C. It's got a little of an S. Just kind of like so, and maybe allowing it to kind of start to curve back. All right, and then we're going to say, all right, we need a little swoosh there, and then we'll do a second swoosh. Actually, we'll make this our first swoosh here. We'll do another swoosh like this, and then we'll kind of just make some goofy wings that kind of come down, and then we'll give this guy a little tail like that. So a little body, little tail. And then we'll start right here on either side to create the hat. I don't like his neck. I got to fix his neck. And then a little something here comes down, and a Santa hat. Kind of create the circle here and an arc for his beak. Well, that looks too much like and then a little line across it. It looks a little like a carrot. Oh, and there's Holly. She says, looks like I'm painting an ornament just for you. Well, you like flamingos? I was wearing a crazy Christmas sweater today with flamingos on it. So hopefully that makes sense in terms of how you're going to sketch the thing. I've got some lighting issues, so I apologize, guys. Maybe it's not lighting. All right, so now we're going to go a little bit smaller. We'll do it again. I just wanted you to kind of see that first off. So here we go. We go again with the oval. And then I'm going to kind of take, let's see, a kind of around and down. And it's going to come out a little bit different each time. And it kind of doesn't really matter. We're here. We're just being goofy. We're having fun. And we're creating a silly design. So these are kind of the things for the wings. He's sort of flapping and, having a hissy fit or something, or just being kind of like extra. All right, so his little eyeballs over here. Maybe his beak will come down like so. All right, so we did a little more on the beak this time around, and then we'll take the rim of his hat around, and then sort of folding, maybe coming up, and then a little point that comes down, and his floofy ball. Okay, that's sort of it. And we may find as we do this that there's certain tweaks that we want to make on the on how we sketch it. Holly says she's got flamingos on her wall. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to break out some pink peony, which is this color right here. Peony pink peony, whatever. Something like that. You know what I'm trying to say. So we'll squeeze it onto our palette. I'm actually going to grab a couple of paints while we're here. So, oh my gosh. So we have the pink peony. We're going to go with some white. And just for fumble fingers, for fun, I'm going to add some fluorescent red. Fluorescent red. I think that's a crazy color. And sometimes it's kind of cool to just pop in there with your pink to make it more interesting. And let's just put all the colors on, right? So a little bit of yellow. And I'm sort of kind of finding random spaces, and that was like 10 times more yellow than I need. Random spaces all over my palette so that I can get to these. So we want the yellow and green kind of nearby because we're going to do some mixing. Because, I could have you go out and buy a whole nother green, or I could just teach you how to mix the color we want, and you can use the existing stuff you have. There's my Cloudless Blue. That's an Apple Barrel brand. I love this color. I haven't bought Apple Barrel in a while because I just feel like they haven't been carried at some of the stores I've shopped at. And a little bit of red, or way too much red. Okay, cool beans, cool beans. So get yourself a small brush, fairly round. And we're going to just go straight for that peony pink. Again, just double checking that everything's on camera as it should be. We'll just begin by filling in his face with that pink peony. And if you get a little bit on his beak, not a big deal. Do your best. Here's my reference. It's nice to have a reference. He looks like he's got like a sleep mask on or something. And kind of coming down. And if you need to go over where the beak is, go for it. Sometimes that just makes sort of the creation process a little bit easier because you don't have to stress it as much about trying to paint around things and lose your flow. Sometimes you really need that minute to get those swoopy lines. I forgot to tape this guy down. I'm hoping I can get away with not taping it today. We'll see. Then we'll fill this out. So really all the body parts that are going to be pink, we're just going to get that base pink peony pink color on. And then we'll kind of tone it down a little bit. So we made those sort of swooshy wing shapes. So you do want to kind of make sure you keep some of those. Personally, those parts make me laugh. This guy is he's a goof. All right. I think I can still sort of see my pencil lines under there, so I'm good. But once we get a little white in here to kind of create some lights and darks and, add a little variety to Mr. Flamingo here's feathers, or Ms. Flamingo. Either way, she's quite flamboyant. Maybe I should call her Flamboyant Flamingo instead of Goofy Flamingo. Just filling in those wings, just getting the color, getting it placed. And think of it as just placing color. We can be meticulous later. Right now we don't have to be. So I'm just looking and seeing, are there any like thick sections or the areas where I've got like just a little too much paint that maybe if I like kind of smooth it out, it'll make the whole drawing process a little bit easier. Okay. Yeah, I do have a few spots. I need to tape this. It's going all over the place, isn't it? And my biggest concern with not taping it is that if I get wet paint on my painting surface or on my protective surface and then place this guy on top of it, then I end up getting those paint bits on the other side of my ornament, which I don't want. Okay, so we're going to grab some white paint. I haven't rinsed my brush. I haven't anything. And I'm going to just get a little stroke like right across his forehead, kind of lightening, kind of just creating like a little circly bit here, blending a little bit. I think I got too much white there, but it's no biggie. We'll fix that. And then we'll take some kind of around, dab a little here. Okay, I'll just kind of bring it, drag that pink a little bit through the neck to add some definition. And then we'll do one along the wing line here because we want that body and the wing to appear different, not to all blend in together. We'll get this guy. I'm starting in the middle just because I cut a lot of white on it and I was thinking I would have a better job or better time blending if I started in the middle with that one. Again, just a little bit of that white here. Then you can start to kind of pull bits of that white out kind of into the wingtips, but don't lose the intensity in, overall of that pink peony. It's so pretty. And we'll come back in with a little bit of peony kind of on this portion of the neck to create a cleaner blend. There we go. Now I need some differentiation between the neck and the the body there, which we'll work on in a second. And just a little blend, kind of almost scrubbing the two pigments together so that it transitions nicely. I love pink flamingos. I love pink. Hopefully you guys are not like, ugh, pink. Here she goes again. Okay, so to bring the body out a little bit, here's where we're going to get creative. And we're going to activate the fluorescent red. I know that looks almost orangish. So it's not going to take much, a little bit. And I'm going to grab some of the pink peony and mix it together to just kind of create a slightly amped up version. In fact, I might grab just a little bit more of that fluorescent red. Notice I'm kind of dragging it, and then pulling it in. I'm not trying to put a big old chunk in there. It's a very odd color that we've just mixed. I think it's going to add like a nice kind of vibrancy right in here, just to give it a little kapow factor. Pop a color, kick a pop. So a little bit on the neck, kind of accentuating that curve. So just adding intensity in a few spots. Maybe a couple of bits around the wingtips, not all of them, but just a little bit here and there. I'd say that's probably all we need. So now you have like a beautiful blend, and it's very pink and doesn't really look like fluorescent red, but it's got just a little bit of, you know, wattage, I guess you could call it. Offload your brush, rinse it. Here's my rinser. Dry it. And I'm just going to take a quick look here. I am going to break out the dryer to help some of this pink along. Next up, we are going to do the background, which is a lovely yellowish green. So I'm going to leave that kind of exactly how yellowish green you want it to be up to you. I personally feel that the sour apple green is just a little bit too cool a color. So if I am bringing this guy out here, I mean, it's not a cool color, but I want it more yellow. Bring that there, and then we'll grab a hunk of yellow. And we'll just mix and see what we get. Ooh, I love that. I mean, we want it to be green, but we want it to be a very yellowy green. Hopefully it doesn't look too much like puke or snot or something. Sorry, I shouldn't be using those words. And I'm just going to outline Mr. Flamingo here, Ms. Flamingo. And if you feel like it's just still too yellow for you, it looks actually pretty yellow. I may need just a smidge more green. We'll see. But it's kind of like a, I don't know. It's very bright. It's almost fluorescent. Or sometimes seems kind of, you know, fitting for a wacky flamingo like this. Just kind of getting around the little poofy ball of his hat. Around that little section right in here between the rim and where it folds over, bringing it around. So I'm doing this entire project with fairly small brushes today. It's just going to, you know, allow you better options for getting in between all those little spots. And then we will use a liner brush for details in a second. But one of the things that I like about this particular project is it comes together pretty quickly. It's only a few strokes of paint to kind of pull together the figures of the flamingo. But it's got a lot of sort of visual impact. Bold colors. And whimsy and silly. We like silly around here. We like silly around here. All right, go ahead, rinse your brush. And since I'm here, I'm going to add just a little bit of No, actually, no, not this brush. This is not the right brush for it. We're going to grab some red now and fill in the hat. So we've got kind of a rim there. I got a bit of pink into my rim. I don't think that's a big deal. Just kind of fill in the red for the hat. It's a very, very strong red. That's a Tuscan red. It's probably 3 to 4 dips worth of paint, and that's it. I, of course, squeezed about 100 dips of paint onto my palette, so I'll have to find something else to do with it quick. All right. So there we go. That's pretty much all the red we've got. Offloading your paint a little bit just so that it's not going to drastically color your paint water. Give your paint water a rinse. Oh gosh, you guys, I'm sorry. So while I'm waiting for the red to dry, because we do still need to do the poofs, I'm going to do the beak. So I think I can get away with just plopping the yellow on directly. If not, then we'll tweak it a bit. I'm going to place a little bit of yellow here, kind of for the beak coming directly out of his face, right here. In fact, we'll carry it all the way down and then we'll paint over that yellow. But I think we just want to be able to see where that whole beak is. And you know, if your beak is slightly smaller, slightly larger, we're in like cartoon mode here. We're in goofy mode. We're not in perfectionist mode. We're having fun. Offload your paint. That's it for the yellow paint. We're done. Rinse a brush again, of course, squeeze the stuff out, and let's blast the stuff so it starts to dry. So at present, I'm more concerned with getting the red paint dry than I am the yellow paint dry. My yellow paint is a little bit like chunky and thick, but it still has a minute or two to kind of get with the program. So here's where I get like just a tiny dip of the cloudless blue, and you can kind of do your base coat of cloudless blue for the poofy ball. Poof, 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 poof. And, you know, kind of dab that paint on, make it poofy, right? Make it poofy. So if your, you know, bristles splay a bit and you kind of have this rough, fluffy, soft line, that's perfectly cool. And you're like, why are you using blue? It's my base coat. I'm going to come over in a similar fashion with some white, but I really want that blue to be peeking out. Just a little bit more interesting than straight white. Filling it in. So I can't really see the eyeballs that I sketched in, but that's fine. Now you could do the eyeballs closer together if you wanted a certain look. I think he looks kind of like innocent or slightly dumb and like ridiculous with his eyes a little farther apart. So this is what I did. Okay, that's very blue. It's not going to stay that very blue. Let's blast it again. And that second set of blasting, not only does it get the blue drier, but it also helps with the yellow. Okay. Turn that guy off. So I rinsed my brush while doing that. I'm drying it off really quickly, checking them all centered up or at least visible for everybody. Yeah, okay. Coming in with some white. And before I go, I have all that white on my brush. I might just kind of dab some of it off first. And I'm just using the paint so you can, or the paint tape so you can see how much I'm removing. And then I'll come in now that I've removed a lot of that paint and just kind of squish the paint back on. And the blue is showing through. All right, need a little bit more paint. But again, I get too much when I dip it in, so I offload it here and then reapply just the smaller amounts. And focusing on really the center of the poofy stuff, you can have a few, you know, little flyaway bits kind of coming up into the hat, especially where it's dark. That little bit of blue is going to help with some of the definition. Yeah. Okay. I believe we are now done with our fairly small brush, and we're going to go real small. Now this one, I am getting close to wanting to throw this brush away because the bristles are just every which way. But when it comes to doing fluffy stuff like this and simple work, it's so good and it works just fine that, you know, I'm not quite a hoarder, but working on my hoarding tendencies. So I'm just going to keep it. Okay. Skinny brush, skinny brush. So now I have my little tiny mermaid acrylic nail brush. This guy has been like the workhorse of the season. Oh, I forgot to put black on my palette. Whoops. Okay, so last night when we did this, Holly asked about making kind of an ink out of your black paint. So let me show you guys how that works. And now that I've nicely rinsed my bigger brush. So I do not like to mix paint with my small, super skinny brushes. It's so hard on like all 4 bristles. I mean, there's more than 4 bristles, but you know what I'm saying. There's like not many bristles and it's really rough. So I literally just dipped this guy into the water. So the bristles have a little bit of water on them. I'm going to place the water right here next to the black. And then I'm just going to kind of pull some of the black pigment into that water until I get, you know, I want it to be opaque. I don't want to be able to see through it, but I want it to be less gooey than, so if this is very viscous right here, because here's where the main paint is. Here's where I kind of pulled it out and got it wet. And so I should be able to, like, you know, pull like a really long line out of it. Like there's no way you could pull that long a line with a highly viscous paint. So by adding all that extra water, you've made it more like an ink that you can now pull better lines with. And I always say you can only get away with that with like a black paint, because black is so dark that, you know, when it starts to get watered down, it's far less obvious. Okay, so going into my sort of inky mix. Oops. I'll go in and get his eyeballs so he's kind of present with us. We'll make him a little bit bigger. Feel free to stylize as you like. Then we'll kind of come right under the chin and get that head finished. Oops. I'll do the beak. Oh, my bristles are splaying. Darn it. I really like these brushes. No splay. And then we'll kind of create a line like right here. We'll go a little higher. I don't want the line to be directly aligned with it, with the sort of the chin and the face. We'll just fill that section in because flamingos have like these two-tone beaks. And since I'm up here working at the top, we'll kind of do the little hat. Move this stuff so I can get to it easier without having to like move the whole kit and caboodle. Here we go. There we go. And so as much as I don't really want to put the black bits around the white poofy, I feel like we're kind of losing some of it. So I'm going to give like some, well, not too dash dot, but just kind of jiggle jaggle some tips of paint from the pen or the brush. Just add a little definition there, but keep it soft and loose. Not even a line really. Okay, and then we'll come get the neck. Let's see, so here, oh gosh, maybe we need to grab the other brush. Oh, and there's Carla. She says, love flamingos. This is so cute. Thank you. I kind of love flamingos too. I mean, so much so that my Christmas sweater has flamingos on it. It's very cheesy. Never quite won any ugly sweater contests. But my sweater is definitely somewhere like right along the borderline of, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And oh my gosh, that's so tacky. And it has jingle bells on it, but I keep losing jingle bells. I think I lost 2 of them today. So I'm like leaving a trail of jingle bells behind. I took it off for this because, oh my gosh, you guys, you'd be like, what is that sound? It's so loud. I was trying to like paint and wear that sweater. So just keep going back for the black. Again, we're just kind of outlining everything because we're in the whimsical mode. We're in the not realistic, but having a blast and funny and trying to make ourselves laugh with our goofy flamingo guy. All right, let's see here. Bloop. Yeah. So you could add like a little extra line there to accentuate the fold of his hat. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. We're very, very close to done. I'm going to offload the excess black from this brush, rinse it real quick. Oh, God, you guys, I'm sorry. I keep like whacking this. I'm in very tight quarters here in terms of like all the camera stands and things where I'm just trying to capture this so we can get the best angle. So coming in with some white. I'm gonna, yeah. So his eyes need a little dot there to kind of bring him to life. We maybe want a little white swoosh along his beak. So it kind of ties the two colors together. We'll go up a little higher here too. And then we're going to do little, just kind of little highlights kind of along the top of the hat and the flopped over part. And then maybe a little swoosh on his body to give him that feeling of curvature. And a little swoosh here on the neck. And let's see, we'll do a little swoosh on the wings in a few spots. Oops, these are too similar, so I need to extend that one up a bit. Maybe one off this way. And then one that kind of goes here. Just pausing for a minute to look. I feel like these lines are a little bit too much. So I'm going to grab what's left of some of my blended peony pink and kind of soften some of this a little bit. Maybe. Yes. Yeah. Sorry, you guys. Sometimes I didn't think I got quite. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to do like pink and peony. I want to blend it a bit. I feel like those lines are too harsh and I don't like it. So we're going to get a little bit more lightness going on in this zone. And then when we add the white highlights on top of that lightness, it's a little bit, I don't know if logical is the word, but it works better for my aesthetic. I don't like it to be quite so stark. I think the neck is good. This section here, I'm going to soften just a little. I feel like we just did all that work to blend and now I'm kind of like undoing some of it, but it's okay. Kiss of the fluorescent. There's a kick of something. Oh yeah, and we'll bring just a little touch more of the fluorescent kind of into the base here. Maybe a little bit more in the neck, just a touch. So never be afraid to kind of tune something. You can do something, be like, we're close, but it's not quite what I wanted. So I add a few little like just kind of kisses of the fluorescent red on his face, kind of actually like right where each of his cheeks are, which makes him look kind of merry. And then a little bit across his forehead. So like, if you're applying makeup, where do you often put blush or not bronzer or like contouring? Kind of in these areas. So, contour your flamingo. And then a few just kisses of this hot color in the wingtips. Just a little bit. Okay, I feel much better about that now. So now I'm going to come back in and add some of the highlights. But I'm hoping they'll be a little bit gentler, I guess, or a little less stark. Oops, I gotta rinse my brush. I set it down and then I didn't rinse it. And it's like all 6 bristles are trying to stick together, or all 4, whatever it is I was jokingly saying. So I'm going to saturate the bristles real quick and just kind of drag my brush through a little bit. And then here we go. So now we're adding just a little kiss of something. So one of the things that I didn't like the last time when I added the highlights is I had one here, and they were almost exactly the same size and shape and position. So here we're going to kind of put the emphasis in a few different spots. And then this one will kind of bring some of those lines back. And then maybe just a little something small this way. Maybe a little swoosh in one of the wings. I don't know. Could add a few. There we go. There is our goofy flamingo. That's pretty much it. Isn't he cute? He's like ridiculously ridiculous. So of course, to finish it off, sorry you guys, I keep like bouncing you around. Don't get seasick on me. We're gonna grab some of the gold and I need a good brush for this. Where's the good brush for this? Where'd it go? There it is. Oh. Tell you all day long. It's like I've got stuff on my desk, it's here, and then I move it around, then it's here, and it's like musical chairs, all the things on my desk. All right, and Holly says, was that Julia's kickoff pop? Yeah. Oh my gosh. So you guys, I think it was like day 4 of the Advent Ornament Challenge, and well, been out to dinner. I had like 1 beer, but it was enough to just relax me enough that I got super goofy. And one of my besties was over, and you just start riffing like you don't mean to, and you just sort of go off and get a little bit ridiculous. We had a little ridiculous going. Okay, so where do we need glitter? I feel like the rim of the hat could be cool, but we could even just make the flamingo glittery, or I don't know. What do you guys think? Where's the glitter go? Where's it go? What should we do? Anybody? What do we got? Glitter, glitter, glitter. Holly, where do I put the glitter? Should I put the glitter on the rim of his hat? I don't feel like I need like a ton of glitter. Maybe just like a little tiny bit. It just makes it kind of cute. Wingtips? Oh, wingtips. Okay, let's give him a little blast and we'll wingtip him. Glittery wingtips. Okay, so we'll do a really fine coating of the glitter on the wings and on this guy. If I go too much, then, won't be able to see the color that we just did. All right, bring the brush back. Sorry. Ugh. Okay, this is my glitter. Yes. I must put my brush in the way. That would have been really bad. Okay. This is the glitter. It will not inadvertently kill my cute flamingo. Gosh, that would be so bad. This reminds you, like one time in college, I was making a soup and I needed to add like cornstarch to kind of thicken it a little bit. I grabbed the wrong yellow box and I threw like baking soda in, and it was like before the baking soda, like I had gotten that soup stock. It was divine. It was so good. And I'm not sure because like what I did right with it. But I'll tell you what I did wrong with it when I absolutely ruined it. Okay, so Holly, I was listening when you said wingtips, and then I got carried away. So now all his wings are glittery. So maybe we'll just have glittery wings. And since he's got glittery wings, I'm gonna do glitter on the white part too. I'm not doing a thick coating of it, right? Because I'm thinking we can get away with it like drying faster. Maybe a little swoosh just on his rump, for lack of a better term. Let's see. Blast it, blast it, blast it. Let some of that like gluish look dry. Come on. Now, if I put like layers and layers and layers on, then I would have a whole lot of glitter particles. But this one, because we just did a fine coating, it's a little bit more on the subtle side. And so we're getting just like a few glitter particles. And so that background really is not yellow. It is chartreuse, but it's a very, very yellow green. And if it dries too yellow and it starts to bug me or bug you, you can always come back in and just make, do another blend with just a smidge more of the green on it. But let's see. This way. Okay. So now let's see. Oh, I'm all in shadow. So can we kind of see the glitters here? Lady Glitter Sparkles. Oh, yep, you can kind of see them there. I don't know. I really feel like these are such a delight, especially as the collection grows. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, guys, it's been fun. I love you, and I will see you on the 16th. Yeah, the 16th. I would say tomorrow, but it's technically the 16th now, my time. Okay, bye.